Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we're going to be cloning one of these. This is a SAAB Trionic T8 ECU, well there's two of them in fact. This one should be faulty. This one is a replacement. It's got these little yellow tabs on them, yellow paint marks rather. We do have matching numbers on them. We've got also personal data on the back of this one, but yeah, we have got matching numbers, but I have been told you don't need to get them exactly matching, as a lot of these ECUs are very similar and they will work with other ones. Now the Trionic ECUs are pretty interesting in the world of nerdy electronics because of what they do and where the name comes from, and that's ionic detection. So when it fires a spark, it can use various parts of the electronics to check for ionization, or check the amount of ionization it can get in the cylinders afterwards. And that will vary depending on what the combustion was like. So if there was a misfire or knocking, the ionic, I suppose the ionic current that passes through it will be ever so slightly different. It can figure out what's going on. So these ECUs can detect knock and misfires without having a knock sensor. And I believe it can also use it like a cam sensor as well, which would be for cylinder phase. So as these are four stroke engines, you have two sets of up and down in the rotation, and the cam sensor would usually be able to say, well, which cylinder is up and down on compression and firing, and which one is up and down on exhaust or intake and so on. So with it being able to figure out which cylinder just fired, it'll be able to say, well, this one has just fired, so this one is now on our sort of power stroke, and then going to be on the exhaust, rather than the one that's going to be all nice and cool as it's on the intake stroke. Now, to clone these, you need a bit of software, which is Trionic CAN Flasher. That was made by, I think it's T7 Suite. I will stick a link of that in the description. The guys there, they've made an awful lot of software. There is a T7 Suite, T8 Suite, which is for tuning, and also the Trionic CAN Flasher, which is what we're going to be using. This is what I'm going to be using for the programming. It is this one here. Is the OBD-Link SX cable. I had to order that in from the US. I got that maybe 10 years ago. I've done these Trionic stuff before. I've pretty much forgotten about it, and has only got an email earlier on the week with somebody who's asking if I'm able to clone these things, and I'd entirely forgotten all about it. So I had to do a bit of research again to find out what's going on. And this is my breakout lead, which is going to be used then to connect into our engine ECU. We have an OBD plug, and I got that from Mouser, I think. You can find them, maybe like RS Components should be able to do them, or some of the other suppliers. And you better buy the plug and the pin contacts, and then you can add your own wires in. These couple of banana leads, which I think I just bought some long straight banana to banana, snipped them then, and then I've got two sets of these to the tails I can use for various things. I always tend to get them as well with that little hole there to stick other ones in, so you can double them up as well if you need to plug more than one thing in. And now I have a hell of a lot more wires here than you're going to need, as I have K-line, that one is FEPS for Ford, the Ford programming voltage. That is Ford's SCP CAN. This one is regular CAN bus, and I'm doing it in the BMW colors, which is black is CAN high and yellow is CAN low. We're going to have K-line, I believe, on this one. This one is pin 8, which would be another K-line, or an L line on some BMW diagnostic stuff. Purple, you know, I've entirely forgotten what purple is. I think purple might have been the official L line, which turns up on one pin, but BMW actually used pin 8 as their L line in their interfaces. So I added a whole bunch of them, just makes it a lot more flexible. Now, the connections that you want for these, power, there it is, into our diagnostic plug, and that would be on pin 16, and then out to this also, it branches off into these, and I've given it 4 extra connections there for various other things. I'm not going to need 4 in this case, but better to have too many than too little. Ground is on these 2. Again, I've got 2 of these. Maybe I should have gone for more, but normally you don't get 2 more. You don't get much more than 2 grounds needed. And then it's CAN they're going to be using on this one, hence the name Trionic CAN flasher. So we're going to connect these up. Oh, sorry, we want to continue on with the details. Power and ground, I forgot, into the plug, then also off onto these. CAN bus then, and the data stuff is just going into the diagnostic plug. So power and ground will go into the diagnostic plug, they'll split and go off to the ECU, and the rest of this stuff is ECU, and that just goes back into the diagnostic plug. The bare minimum you would need should only be the power, the ground into here, and the communication, which is just port to ECU. So it ends up being sort of fairly simple. It's not that tricky to sort out, and we'll get that stuck on an ECU now. There he is, all hooked up. So we have power on pins 2 and 3. We miss out a pin, which should be 4. 5 and 6 is CAN high and CAN low. And then I think it's 63. 1 in from the end is our ground. So 2 powers, 1 ground, and 2 of the CAN buses. That's then going off into our OBD link cable. We've got our light on, powered up. We're drawing 0.2 of an amp right now, which should be about right. And then connected there into our laptop. So let me just sit down for a minute and I'll pump this brightness up. Again, stop the flicker. So when I plug this one in, I'm on COM port 25. So I have to remember that. You just go into Device Manager, see where you are. So I'm on COM 25. Latency timer, you want to set that to 2 milliseconds. And also, I have my bits per second at 9,600. I believe you can go a lot faster than that. But from what I gather, a lot of USB devices, they can sort of overwrite the that target setting anyway. That's kind of like a default, and I believe the programs can actually set a different one when they specifically ask for it. So then we have our lead set up with all those kind of settings. We'll go into the Trionic CAN flasher. We'll want to go to Trionic T8 main, and that one is our main, I suppose, software side. I suppose just go into settings first and sort of double check these settings. So OBD Link SX, that's our lead. There are a few other different types you can have. I think I've managed to do this before on a Tactrix, and the Tactrix I'd be under J2534, which is a sort of a pass through. But I have this SX lead, so I'm sticking to that one. Set the COM port as 25. It should show whatever, it'll just show like possible active COM ports. You select the one that you've got out of Device Manager. COM speed 2 megabits. Now on the advanced features, click I know what I'm doing, unlock system partitions. You could do this one, auto update checksum. That one I suppose will be more for the tuning side and the flashing. This one, I'm doing a straight clone, so I'm not changing anything. Might as well set that one anyway. And done. So then we want to go to, just check our bits and pieces. Trionic T8 main, we're on that. Or we can just go to read ECU. And there is, that is already a test read from before. So we go SAAB original. I'll try and spell that correctly. SAAB original and flash. Click save. And then we'll have all this message there about opening connections and so on. And that's it. We're now getting sort of security access. There's seed keys that are part of the communication stuff. The seed key is a particular code. The ECU will tell it a number and say, well, if you know the right seed key, multiply it by that and tell me the number you get. And they check for the various bits and pieces. So that is all sort of connected up. It gives all our details, and it's reading the flash now. And we can see that down there in the bottom corner as that little green bar starts moving across. So I'll come back in a few minutes and let's have a look. We are 14:16 as our time. I'll come back and let you know how long this takes. Right, and that's it done. So we are 14:21, so that took 5 minutes. And it reads through, it verifies an MD5, I guess that checksum requesting bootloader exit, operation done. So that's all happy with those kind of bits and pieces. So that has the flash side read, and now also we want to do the MCP. So we're going to go down to here, SAAB Trionic 8 MCP experimental, and again click read, and we're going to call this SAAB original MCP. Click save, and that will start reading that now in a second. So there we go. Again, we're getting in security access and we're reading that. So that is uploading bootloader, starting bootloader, downloading flash. So this is another section of the memory, and he's reading through on that bit now. And that's the MCP part read. I just realized there, in fact, it tells you the time. So that took 32 seconds to read that, and 5 minutes, 1 second to read the main section. So you can read the main and the MCP. It doesn't matter what order you do that in on the reading, and nothing should change inside your original donor ECU. So you don't need to worry about that. This is kind of one of these things that are going to be non-invasive. So you want to have both of those files saved, the MCP and your flash bit, and that's all nicely backed up. So now we're going to swap over to our second ECU. Into ECU 2 now. On the J1 plug, there is a tiny little writing down there saying J1. Same pins, 2 and 3 power, miss 1, can high, can low, and then ground 1 in from the end. So that's that connected up. I have this now back onto Trionic main, and then we go read ECU, and we will call this SAAB donor. Now, you don't particularly need to save the donor one, but you might as well. So there we go. It's now connecting up. And there it is, uploading some bootloader, and that one now is going to be downloading the flash. He's done now, and that was 5 minutes 2 seconds on the read for that one. So now again, same thing, switch over to MCP, experimental, read ECU, and we'll say donor MCP, save, and then we'll have all our little messages. And as I said, yeah, from this one it was fairly quick. It's like 30 seconds back. Look at that bar racing across. Oh, sorry, that was uploading a bootloader, starting secondary bootloader. But all in all, yeah, you can see this doesn't take particularly long. Now, when you're writing them back, I've been told do MCP first, then the main. I don't know how important that is, but stick to it, as I'm fairly sure something like that is people learn from experience. So that's both of them read. Now, the MCP is more of like the operating system, and the main is the flash and the maps. I have been told that 2007 there was a break, or at least a change in the types of ECUs. So if you're both ECUs are pre-2007, apparently you don't need to do the MCP. If they're both post-2007, you don't need to do it, but you might as well just do it anyway. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to flash, attach a charger, click OK. It's going to look for which file we want. SAAB MCP original, that's the one that we had from our original one. Click OK, and that will now start the flashing. That's our bootloader up. And there we go. So patching mask according to something settings. Selected 0 out of 9 partitions for arrays. Everything is identical. So, right, and this one, yeah, because they are both the same, you don't need to do anything with the MCP. They are both the same version. So this one has checked through and said, look, we don't need to do anything. Okay, so now we're going to swap over to main, flash ECU, attach the charger, wake things up, and we are going to go to SAAB original flash. Click OK, and that's going to start the programming on that side. Bootloader going in, and we should now be into our main flash section. So here we are. Do you really want to flash new VIN and key data? It's like, yes, that's exactly what we want to do, because in this case we are doing a clone. Click OK. And there it is. Patching mask according to current sessions. Selected 4 out of 9 partitions. So it's going through various bits and pieces. I'm guessing it's going to check some stuff and see which areas are the same and don't need to be programmed and which ones will. And there we go. Warning, NVDM will be formatted, patching mask, blah, blah, blah. So we'll just let that sit through, and I'll come back to that in a second. And that's it done. So we have completed the arrays, programming, verifying, app data done, checking the MCP. That stuff's already been fine. So again, MCP in this one was exactly the same, so nothing to do there. And the flash was done in 2 minutes. Everything done, connection terminated, and that's it. So all we need to do now is disconnect our wires, send it back to the customer, and that then should be ready to plug in and go. There shouldn't be anything else needed to be done, as everything else is going to be copied over. So there shouldn't be any resets on diagnostics. It should all now be plug and play. So there we go. That's our ECU done now, and hopefully if you have to do one of these things, you're going to know exactly what to do. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.